Soviet self-propelled guns have been a staple of War Thunder for quite some time now, being among the first ground vehicles that made their appearance in the game. Powerful guns mounted on the chassis of the T-34 or the KV, unusual vehicles like the Su-100Y or the Su-57B. This video is all about them. Let's start with the Su-51, a limited production SPG built on the chassis of the T-26 light tank in the 1930s. Given its ancestry, don't expect it to have much armor, but it's no slouch when it comes to firepower, being armed with a 76mm gun designed during the times of the Russian Empire. Its shells pack quite a punch, but you get only 8 of them, so make every shot count. Then we have the premium Su-57, which is not really Soviet, at least not originally. It actually started out as the American T-48 57mm gun motor carriage, an SPG with a British gun mounted on the M3 half-track, which made it to the USSR as part of the Lend-Lease program. Its British 6-pounder makes for a very convincing argument in fights with other vehicles found at rank 1. Thanks to its chassis, the Su-57 is also pretty mobile in the field. We go up to the vehicles of the second rank and immediately run into the ZIS-30. That's what you get when you mount a 57mm ZIS-2 cannon on the chassis of a Komsomolets tracked artillery tractor. This gun, by the way, is ridiculously powerful for its rank. You could easily see it used even in rank 3 engagements, but the vehicle has no armor whatsoever. The legendary Su-76M is one of the most produced Soviet armored vehicles of World War II. It's equipped with a decent cannon and comes with an armor arrangement that provides the crew with at least some protection on the sides and in the back, making it pretty versatile in the field. But it's best used for sniping. There are also a few premium variants of this SPG. The Su-76M of the 5th Guards Cavalry Corps, and the Su-85A, an experimental model armed with an 85mm D5S cannon that can shoot deadly BR-365A APHEBC rounds. The Su-122 is a 122mm howitzer mounted on the chassis of a T-34, and it's probably the first Soviet SPG that looks sort of modern. Anything you hit with its gun is sent straight to their hangar. But it's not an easy gun to aim. Furthermore, the reload is around 20 seconds long. You'd better get used to the slow reloads though. That's something you'll see quite often with vehicles on this list. The first third-era vehicle we see is the Su-57B, a highly experimental vehicle with a unique profile. It might look kind of funny, but don't ever underestimate its capabilities. Because of its low profile, it can be easily hidden, and its powerful cannon elevates it to the status of an extremely effective ambusher. Then you get a couple of other SPGs built on the chassis of the T-34, the famous Su-85, and also its variant, the Su-85M. Excellent mobility, an amazing quick-firing cannon, and mediocre armor. All in all, these SPGs make for good high-mobility snipers that can also stand their ground at close range. The next vehicle on the list is the Su-152. The Red Army soldiers called it the Zveroboy, or the Beast Slayer, and it's clear why, as it has enough firepower to delete enemy tigers and panthers from existence with its shots. Obviously, the cannon takes ages to reload, so it's a good idea to keep your distance at all times. What, still want more firepower? Okay, look no further than the premium SU-100Y, an experimental SPG found at 3rd rank. Even a single hit with its 130mm B-13 naval cannon will wreck any heavy tank. It doesn't exactly make for a really good sniper though, just like the T-100 prototype, which provided the chassis for the SU-100Y. It is very bulky and doesn't have enough armor to make you feel safe when engaging other vehicles of the 3rd era. We made it to rank 4. Say hello to the ISU-152, which shares a lot of similarities with its predecessor, the SU-152. The latter was built on the chassis of the KV tank, while the ISU-152 was based on the chassis of the IS. Not a big surprise given the name. It translated into it having more armor and being slightly less mobile, but its MO is pretty much the same. The ISU-122 and the ISU-122S are armed with a 122mm A-19 cannon and the modernized 122mm D-25 cannon, respectively. They are typical one-shot wonders, giving you enormous firepower with the trade-off of slow reloads. To be fair, the gun of the ISU-122S only takes around 15 seconds to reload. That's still painfully slow, sure, but at least there was some progress made. Furthermore, there is also the premium SU-122P, a D-25S cannon mounted on the chassis of the T-34. Basically, that's just the same amazing gun on a more mobile chassis. The Su-100 is the first Soviet armored vehicle outfitted with a mighty D-10 cannon. It doesn't just penetrate enemy tanks from the front, and very easily at that, it also has a pretty quick reload too. The 5th era at last. The first SPG we see here is the Su-122-54, a post-war production design that still has a lot of World War II DNA. It features a T-54 chassis in a tank-destroyer format, meaning that you can actually sometimes take a bit of punishment when engaging vehicles of the same era. The SPG has access to heat rounds, capable of piercing 400mm of armor, and its gun takes only 12.3 seconds to reload when operated by an experienced crew. All of that means that it has considerably more firepower than any of its predecessors. It's also fitted with night fighting equipment, which is awesome. The Object 268, built on the chassis of the T-10 tank, is an experimental design that has the best armor arrangements among all Soviet SPGs. Even heavies can have difficulty trying to pierce its armor from the front. Furthermore, the Object 268 is armed with the 152mm M64 cannon, which is considerably more powerful than comparable armaments, while still maintaining a decent fire rate, for its caliber that is. Finally, we have the premium Object 120 Su-152 Taran, a Soviet tank destroyer developed in the late 1950s. This is a very mobile vehicle with next to no armor and an outstanding cannon. You get a 152mm M69 gun with excellent APF SDS rounds, making it really easy to hunt the latest heavies as well as the MBTs. Well, that was the end of the road, though, as far as conventional SPGs go. The world entered the age of anti-tank guided missiles and main battle tanks, and old SPG designs were quickly becoming a thing of the past, with ATGM vehicles like the Sturm S or the Chrysanthema claiming their spot as their own. They had a really good run, though. Do you agree? What are your favorite SPGs, by the way? Snipers? High mobility harassers? Tell us in the comments below, because Bruce is telling you. We really do want to know.